Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So, I wasn't going to put out a video today. I wasn't going to talk about lumber. I was just going to, give it a break for the weekend and, just not put anything out. But I was at work today and I had a conversation with the guy, and when I hear the information, I got to come out and tell you guys about it. I mean, I just feel like if I'm sitting on this information, every day that passes could be critical to somebody's decisions on what it is that they're going to be doing going into the future. And now, I am not here to try and give you any kind of financial advice. I mean, if you're delaying projects on the information that I am telling you, then you need to do more research. I mean, use my information in conjunction with the other things that you are seeing out there. But I tell you, I come across some pretty interesting stuff from time to time that is something that nobody else is seeing out there, or at least nobody else is talking about. Now, for months, we've been dealing with high lumber prices. They have been ticking up nonstop since last year. Now, when we saw the COVID lockdown take place, there was inventory depletions across the nation. Lumber yards, mills, everybody was either, shrinking their inventory or curtailing development. Everybody was sure that no business was going to be taking place when it came to the building industry. They just thought it was going to shut down. Everybody had the same perception. 2 weeks later, everybody's getting stimulus checks and they're down at the lumber yard just clearing it out of all the pressure treated. They're building raised beds, they're building new decks, they're building fences to block out the neighbors, they're remodeling their houses so that they can be more comfortable knowing that they're going to be locked down for the next few months. And it cleared out all the inventory. Like, the little inventory that was left was completely depleted. And now trying to fill that in has taken time, and the prices are just ticking up. As the demand increases and the inventory levels were not there, the prices just kept going up. And now everybody is screaming gouging or price manipulation or all kinds of stuff. I mean, there is nonstop talk about reasonings behind the price increases on lumber. Now, excuse me. Now, if you follow my channel for any length of time, there's lots of reasons for it. It's not just one, and you can't explain it in just a few minutes. You got to go and talk about trade wars and bug infestations and wildfires, mill curtailments. There was a lot of stuff that was taking place. So when you add all these things together, yeah, it starts making a lot of sense to why the lumber prices were as high as they are. Now, the one thing that I said is that you have to watch, inventory. It's almost impossible to understand what inventory levels are out there unless you literally call up lumber yards and say, how much do you have on hand? Then there is no place that you can go to that's going to say this is what inventory levels on the lumber are. Now, maybe there is somebody who's done that kind of information research and put it out there online. I don't know. I've never seen it. But what I can tell you is some of the stuff that people are telling me that they are seeing. Now, I know here at the local lumber mill, the local mill that we're at, one of our drivers was down there getting something. I guess we had ordered some lumber from him or something. But he was down there with his truck, and he said he had never seen the place stacked with as much lumber as they have. He said he's never seen as much lumber down there as they have right now. And I thought about that, and I thought, well, maybe it's just the location, maybe it's timing, something like that. Well, I was talking with another customer today. That was one of our drivers telling me that when he was down here. Now, I was talking with the customer today, and we were talking about the high lumber prices and stuff, and he wasn't surprised by it at all. He was just like, yep, it's not going to last too much longer. And I was just like, oh, yeah, why's that? And we're loading up, stuff, and so we're just chatting. And I said, oh, yeah, why don't you think the lumber prices are going to last too much longer? And he was just like, because the inventories are just so high. And I'm like, it stopped me right there. And I'm like, well, what inventory levels? Whose? What are you talking about? And he says, oh, well, my brother-in-law, he's a lumber buyer for some company, and we were loading up his truck, and I'm just trying to listen. I didn't ask any questions. I was just listening to him talk. And I forgot to ask him what company that his brother-in-law worked for. I could not believe that out of all the things that I was sitting there talking to him about, I didn't ask him what company his brother-in-law worked for. So, unfortunately, I don't know who his brother-in-law is or what company he was working for, but apparently he was telling me that his brother-in-law travels from Northern California all the way up to the Canadian border, going to all the different mills and I guess, trying to secure bids or buys or, lumber or whatever. I'm not sure exactly what his job is there. But anyway, what he was saying is that up and down the I-5 corridor at all these different mills that he's gone to, he has never seen the inventory levels as high as they are right now. Very similar to the same story that my driver, who I work with, who works for the lumberyard that I work for, same story that he was telling. And that in fact, the customer who was telling me this, he said that one of the stories is that they had so much lumber stacked up at one of these mills, like ready to ship out, like looking for a place to go, that they had a hard time bringing in logs because they really didn't have the room. It was like backing up into like the log portion of the yard. So inventory levels seem to be building, and that wasn't the only one. There was another one too. The pressure treated company that I get all my treated lumber from. Now they're, I don't know, 50, 60 miles away from us. They're, quite a ways away. But one of our customers who's down here on the coast right now, he lives, his personal home is not too far from the pressure treated yard where we get all our pressure treated lumber. And he said that when he drove past it, he has never seen as much lumber in that yard as he sees right now. So it looks like all the wholesalers out there have filled up their inventory. Or maybe not the wholesalers, but the mills have filled up their inventory, and it seems to be going into some of the wholesalers as well. Now, I got to thinking about this for a little bit, and I was wondering, it was just like, okay, so is this like a backing up of product due to the high prices, or are they getting ready for like the summertime rush? Because you think about it, we're moving into the building season right now, and the last thing you want to do is be caught with not enough material to send out, without enough product. So are they building up an inventory so that they can handle the summer rush, or is inventory levels just building to the point that prices are now going to start turning and going the other way? I knew it was only a matter of time for this to take place. I honestly didn't think it was going to happen until after the summer, till the slowing down of the building season. But it could take place right now. I mean, prices are astronomically high. They're insanely high, to the point that people are turning away from doing projects. And it's not just like the home projects, like the building of a house. It's like the shelves in the garage. It's the, chicken coop. It's the, the little woodshed. It's the tree fort. All that stuff is being put on hold right now. And I know those are small projects, but when you think about the hundreds and thousands of them that are in every town and city that go on, that's a lot of material that's not being purchased right now. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you about that story the conversation that I had with that customer, and his, seeing the inventory levels rise, or at least his brother-in-law seeing the inventory levels rise. The driver, at the local mill here, seeing the inventory really high. And then, my other customer who lives near the pressure treated yard, seeing the inventory levels there being being elevated higher than he has ever seen before. So who knows what this means? Does it mean that, the prices could come down, or are these guys just getting ready for the summertime rush? Uneducated Economist. You guys let me know.